So the role of financial institutions relative to the individual, state, society, I would argue that there are two primary roles. One role is to definitely produce an economic return. The second role, however, is to produce a moral or societal return. And the way those returns are produced, though, I think are the key differences in economic systems. If we look at a neoliberal economic system, the reliance upon the market mechanism to produce and define both the economic and moral outcome is the way that system is organized. If we look at values-based systems such as an Islamic economy and an Islamic banking system, the economic outcome is acceptable to be defined by the market or some other mechanism, but the actual moral outcome and its responsibility in terms of delivering that moral outcome to the individual, the state, and society is clearly articulated and defined beforehand by Islam itself. And as a result of the reliance of the neoliberal economic system upon the market mechanism to achieve the moral outcome, you end up with a fundamental gap where moral outcomes, if they are not achieved, then the state has to respond, but it responds in a reactive way, whereby unless the state sees an interest in intervening, both society and the individual end up suffering because, again, unless there's a compelling state interest, they choose not to intervene because of this assumption that the market mechanism will produce that moral outcome in addition to that economic outcome. Whereas I think in an Islamic system, the economy is far more valuable to the individual and society because, again, the state or the collective, the ummah, has already predefined the moral outcomes. So it isn't about a reactive response to market outcomes, but rather it's a proactive development of a system to achieve, again, economic and moral outcomes. So in that sense, in an Islamic system, the responsibility of financial institution, again, in both neoliberalism and in Islamic systems, are to produce moral and economic outcomes. But an Islamic system is more deliberate and, as a result, I would argue, potentially more successful in delivering both economic and moral outcomes to both the individual, society, and the state itself, versus a neoliberal system where it is purely reactive in its response to the moral needs of society and the individual, where it focuses purely on the economic outcomes.